to up it just a little bit. The 2-2 pitch. Thought about swinging, held back, appealed on the first. First base umpire says he held back as well. And now the count will be full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and the crowd or in the dugout for this Halos team in big disapproval of that call.
Everybody's an umpire, Jonah, when they come to a ball game. Full count pitch. Ward, Pearson tosses the 3-2. It's a curveball taken high for ball 4. And Cockrell has walked to lead off the inning for the Oaks. We're in the bottom of the second, no score. Both teams with a hit and no errors, as well as Cody Santana from Hawaii Pacific will step in.
Yeah, and that's one of the things right there. Cockrell doing a nice job of staying patient. We talked about them needing, these Oaks batters needing to stay patient in the batter's box, and it's paying off right now.
Santana, the lefty, with also a home run on the season, steps in. 1 on, nobody away here in the bottom of the second inning, no score. Towing the rubber is Sean Ward from College of the Canyons. Fires the first pitch outside for ball 1. Santana led Hawaii Pacific in batting average. He also had a 4.0 GPA, something that his father Al is very, very proud of. Ward deals the 1-0, runs outside, and now he's well behind in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. This is Sean Ward's debut with the Halos, and he is struggling just a little bit. Checks the runner at first, toes the rubber and fires the 2-0. Cut on and missed for strike number 1. That was a home run swing if I've ever seen one by Santana, and he's now facing a 2-1 count.
Yeah, Santana was salivating over that one, dropped right in the strike zone. He had a great swing as he was in full balance, and it just broke right at the last second.
Feel free to tweet at us or comment in the YouTube box. Questions, comments, concerns, shout-outs. As the 2-1 pitch is ripped over to right, but it's going to go foul. And now the count will be even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. No runs, a hit, no errors on both sides here in the bottom of the second inning. On first base, Chase Cockrell. Again, no scoreboard for today's game. We apologize. We'll be getting that back up hopefully for you tomorrow when the Oaks play the Foresters. As Ward toes the rubber, peers and fires the 2-2. It's ripped up the middle, backhanded glove, tapped on second, and then whipped over at first, but the throw goes past Jones's hand. Advancing from first to second on the pass ball will be Cody Santana. So that'll be a force out and then an error on the shortstop, Rugi Aguilar. Actually, that'll be on Charles Steele, the second baseman.
Batting 6 is a hitter from L.A. Pierce, number 23, Brandon Lewis.
So runner on now, 1 away, an error in the inning, and Brandon Lewis from Pierce College will step in for the Oaks. He also has a home run in the season, so the middle of the order for the Oaks has been very productive. And they're going to look to capitalize here. Runner in scoring position, 1 away, and a scoreless ball game in the second inning. The batter, Brandon Lewis, batted .419 at Pierce College this past season. Swings and misses the first pitch for a strike. No runs, a hit, and 1 error now for the Halos. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Oaks early in this one as the 0-1 pitch is fired in there. Cut it and missed for strike number 2. Ward has not pitched anything above 76 miles an hour so far this game. And it's really interesting. It's actually hurting the Oaks because they're really off balance in the batter's box. Checks the runner at second and fires the 0-2. Gets past the glove of his catcher, Peters, and advancing on the wild pitch from second to third will be Cody Santana.
Yeah, sometimes, when you're batting, you're expecting pitches to come in so quickly that when it's kind of slows down in the 70s, it takes you off a half a second on your normal timing of your swing, and perhaps that's playing a factor here to start the game.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. Runner on third base now. All Lewis needs to do is pop this up deep enough to score Santana. Ward checks the runner and fires the 1-2. It's a 1-hopper over to third. Sharon Monte is going to let it go out of play, and we'll do it again at 1-2. Quiet day here at Cal Lutheran, but a beautiful one. Wind blowing out to right, about 8-mile-an-hour gusts. 78 degrees. Beautiful day for baseball. The 1-2 from Ward is a curveball fly deep into center field, running back on his Provost, and it's going to drop just short of the wall. Coming into Santana, rounding second, and running to third is Lewis. The throw is not going to get him, and he's going to be in there with an RBI stand-up triple.
Wow, just a great job by Lewis. Sawing the pitch he liked and crushed that deep. If that was hit into any other part of the ballpark, it would have been absolutely a homer.
Oaks take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. That run is unearned, however, because Santana did reach on an error by the second baseman Steele. But nonetheless, an RBI triple from the Pierce College product, and Milo Beam from Purdue will step in. The first pitch to him is on the outside corner, called a strike. Beam had a productive day yesterday with a couple of RBIs and a sacrifice. The 0-1 to the Purdue Boilermaker, another fastball on the outside corner for strike number 2. It's interesting to call Ward's fastballs because they're only at 76, 77 miles an hour, but they're hitting the spots as he deals the 0-2 outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. I want to give a big thank you to our KDTV station director, Bob Allen, for making sure everything's up on the air. As the 1-2 pitch is low and away, Carnahan missed. Bobbled in the dirt by Peters, and he's going to fire it over to Jones at first for the strikeout, and then the 2-3 put out.
Batting eighth, catcher going to Texas Tech, number 11, Zane.
So 2 away, runner on third base for the Alvin Community College alumnus headed to Texas Tech in the fall, Zane Willems, playing catcher in today's game. One of 3 Oaks catchers. Solis likes to switch him around. Sometimes he'll play DH. The first pitch to the right. He's ripped up the middle past the glove of Ward, and that's going to score Brandon Lewis. The Oaks take a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second on the Zane Willems RBI single.
Yeah, just a great hit by Willems right up the field. It's as if the entire infield was shifted and spread out to the left and right. Wasn't much the pitcher could do to try and get a glove on that one.
Ward tried, and he was just a little bit off. He pulled that glove back a couple of milliseconds before that ball came right at him. But it's hard when you're a pitcher seeing a ball coming at you at 90-plus miles an hour, even 100-plus miles an hour. As DJ Miller steps in, the Ole Miss product takes the pitch low and away, gets away from Peters. Running from first to second is Willems. He doesn't have a lot of explosive speed, but he's going to advance on the wild pitch anyways. Now another runner in scoring position for the Oaks here in the bottom of the second. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Oaks. No runs to hit, 1 error, for the Halos. Ward checks the run at second and fires the 1-0 pitch. It's ripped over to third. Shiramonte will grab it and throw it over to Diamond Jones, but it gets past Jones. Routing third and coming home will be Willems as the ball went out of the stadium. That is going to be an error. The Oaks take a 3-0 lead.
Wow. Oaks just doing a nice job capitalizing on every single error, wild pitch from the Halos. But we can't forget they jumped out to an early start yesterday, but hopefully they'll continue this success.
Yeah, it's going to be very important for the Oaks. If they want to win this game, they gave up that lead, that 4-0 lead yesterday, and ended up dropping it 15-7. Jason Oliver at the top of the order steps in and takes a slider on the outside corner for strike number 1. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Oaks, no runs a hit, 2 errors for the Halos. I want to thank everybody for joining us on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon as the 0-1 pitch is cut out and fouled for strike number 2. Hope everybody's enjoying the last wisps of spring as we're only about a week away, I guess 6 days away from the official summer solstice. June gloom will turn into the heat of July. The 0-2 runs outside. Good backhand by Peters to make sure that it didn't get away from him. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Ward's been struggling recently to find the strike zone. He did a good job in the first inning, but in the second one, he struggled.
Ward toes the rubber and Pearson fires the 1-2. It's hit into center field, running back on his Provost, but he'll make the catch for out number 3. 3 runs come around on 2 hits, 2 errors, and 1 left on base. We're through 2 full here from Sparky Anderson Field. Oaks lead at 3-0. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We'll be right back.
Batting seventh, third baseman, number
3-0 our scores. We head to the top of the third, excuse me. Welcome back, everybody, to Oaks Baseball at Sparky Anderson Field. Jonah Malk and myself, Jonathan Rifkin, happy to be with you for the ride. The Oaks put up 3 runs in the bottom of the second as the first pitch fired into Blake Shiramonte is taken outside for a ball. On the mound for the Oaks in his third inning of work is Kenny Johnson. He's only given up 1 hit, and he has struck out 5 thus far. He deals the 1-0 pitch to Shiramonte. It's taken in the center field. Running back on it is Oliver, and he'll glove it for out number 1. And now Kenny Johnson is coasting. He struck out 5, and he's faced 7 total batters.
first baseman from Southwest Baptist, number
And that's going to bring up Jake Peters from Southwest Baptist University. In the number 8 spot, playing catcher in today's game, as quickly Johnson fires in the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Jonah, what's been working for Johnson here? He's playing very well to start off this game for the Oaks. You know, what's been his approach that has made this Halos team be unsuccessful in hitting him as the 0-1 pitch is hit up the middle to Kenny Johnson, and he'll toss it over Santana for out number 2.
Yeah, well, one, he's being efficient. And that's one of the most important things. He's not giving these Halos batters opportunities to get big swings on it. He's getting rid of them and dispatching them quickly. And he's changing up. He's using his slider really well, catching both the outside as well as the inside corner. And then he always has his 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball in his back pocket to use at his discretion. And it's been paying off big time so far.
His sliders have been clocked at 79 so far today, and that fastball has hit 91. Charles Steele, the number 9 spot, takes a slider low and away for ball number 1. From Colorado State, playing second base in today's game. It's been an interesting day for the Halos as the 1-0 pitch fired in, runs up high, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, 2-0 the count. The number 1 batter in the first struck out looking, then Rudy Aguilar was able to get a hit, but then he was doubled off of first. And Christian Jones then struck out to end of the first inning. The 2-0 pitch is low and inside, ball 3. Then Johnson struck out all 3 batters in the second. Then he had the first 2 batters in this inning fly out to center and ground out back to him as the 3-0 pitch is a fastball at the knees for strike number 1. 3-1 the count now.
Yeah, this is probably the first time that a Halos batter has been up in the count.
Yeah, seriously. It's been quite a day for Johnson. The 3-1 cut on and fouled back, and now a full count situation here for the Colorado State Ram. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Oaks. No runs, a hit, 2 errors for the Halos. One of 2 games this week where these 2 teams will play. But in between today and Friday, the Oaks will be playing the Foresters. The 3-0 pitch, is up and in, and that'll be a walk. Only the second walk all season that Kenny Johnson has given up. This is his 9th inning of work. But nonetheless, there is 1 on now with 2 away. And to the top of the order we go for Dayton Provost. He's 0 for 1 with the strikeout looking. Oaks had a couple more players drafted today, and the first-year player draft as Johnson peers at the runner at first. Toes the rubber, gloves the ball, kicks and fires the first pitch. Ripped into right field. That one's going to drop and get to the corner. Rounding second and going to third is Steele. He's going to be waved home. The throw for Miller is cut off by Santana. The no relay is going to come in, and that's going to be an RBI double by Dayton Provost. And the lead is now cut to 2, 3-1.
Yeah, nice job from the Halos in Provost, getting a nice bat on it. Like we said, when you're up in the count against this pitcher, obviously it was Steele who was the one that got the walk, but nonetheless, you have to take advantage of every opportunity because with a pitcher like Johnson, he's just so good at making you pay for every little mistake.
2 away, runner on second, and a nice 2-out knock to get a run in as Willems is going to have a conversation with his pitcher. We were talking about Oaks players that have been drafted in this year's draft. Obviously, Chad Spanberger drafted in the 6th round yesterday from last year's Oaks team. Jacob Patterson was drafted today, also in the 16th round. For those who remember, Jacob Patterson from Texas Tech pitched very well with the Oaks and got the win in the CCL All-Star game last year as Rudy Aguilar steps in. He's 1-for-1 on the day. Kenny Johnson checks the runner at second and fires the first pitch high for ball 1. The Oaks also had Casey Ryan drafted in the 18th round. The pitcher from Hawaii attended Westlake High School, so a local product. And then finally Frankie Tostado, who we interviewed in the 2nd inning. The 1-0 pitch runs in on the inside corner, but called a strike. 1-1 now the count. Very successful draft for the Oaks. A couple more CCL players went. Brett Boswell from the Foresters last year. Hunter Williams also on the Foresters last year. Clayton Andrews from the Neptune Beach Pearl also went. Johnson toes the rubber, checks the runner, and fires the 1-1 pitch, a fastball on the outside corner. And now he's ahead in the count, 2-1. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Oaks. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Halos here in the top of the 3rd. 1 run has come around to score in the inning for the Halos. As Johnson comes set and fires the 1-2 pitch, a curveball up high, 2-2 now. Oaks will have a couple more players drafted next year, I'd assume. Max Weinstein will probably go. Possibly Cody Santana. We will see. As Johnson checks the runner at second, kicks and fires the 2-2 up high. 3 balls and 2 strikes now.
Yeah, Johnson tried catching Aguilar swinging on the upstairs pitch, but Aguilar stayed patient in the box.
Aguilar doing a nice job. Ventura Community College product. Working the count now to full. The payoff pitch pending, and here it comes from Johnson. It's a fastball ripped into left field, but that one is actually just going to go foul to the left of the third base back, and we'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wind slowing down now, but still blowing out to right. That flag in left center field, indicating where exactly it is. Dimensions here at Cal Lutheran, 325 in left, 400 in center, and 320 in right. A very good lefty ballpark, which is where we've seen all of the home runs but 1 go out. Johnson kicks and fires the payoff pitch once again. Cut it and missed for strike 3, and down goes Aguilar. 6th strikeout on the day, but nonetheless, the Halos get 1-on-1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're through 2.5 here from Sparky Anderson Field. Oaks up 3-1. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV, simulcasted onto YouTube. We will take a short break. Max Weinstein will lead us off here in the bottom of the third inning out of the number 2 spot. Welcome back, everybody. Jonah Malkin, myself, Jonathan Rifkind, bring you Oaks baseball. Happy that you're joining us. This is the first pitch from Ward. It fired into Weinstein. Just popped into right center field. Going back on it is Ferris, and he's going to make the grab just short of the warning track for quick out number 1. That's the second fly out to right that Weinstein has had today. He's 0 for 2. And now Grant Mayu is going to step in. Oaks up 3-1 here in the bottom of the third. For Mayu, the Aztec, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play back in the first inning to end the inning. Looking to turn his fortunes around here early.
Yeah, and that grab by Ferris over in right field was actually a lot harder than it looked like. He made the extension on that one.
Yeah, he almost lost it in the sun, but did a good job sticking with it and avoiding the wall. The first pitch to Mayu runs in low for ball 1. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Halos. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Oaks as Ward toes the rubber and deals the 1-0 pitch. Inside for ball 2. 2-0 the count now to the San Diego State Aztec, who did not play this past season. He had ankle surgery at the beginning of the season as the 2-0 pitch is cut on and missed for strike 1, and that forced him to slowly but surely get back into rehab, where he was able to work that ankle back to strength. So now seeing the field this summer with the Oaks. The 2-1 to Mayu is taken outside but called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Ward quickly deals the 2-2, runs outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of full counts we've seen from Ward. This is the 4th situation that he's been in where a Oaks batter has worked his way to full count. Kenny Johnson for the Oaks pitching also has 3. So a lot of patience here in the batter's box on both sides. And that's why it's a close game thus far. 3-1 our scores. The payoff pitch comes from Ward. And it runs low and in. And Mayu will take first base with 1 away here in the bottom of the third. That is the second walk on the day for Sean Ward. And
yeah. Well, sorry, John.
No, it's okay.
I don't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say, as you mentioned, just great patience from these Oaks batters, which is what was lacking from them earlier on, and they're able to work themselves back and into the count and on the base.
The first pitch into Cockerell, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Check that 0 for 0 with a walk. Rides in low for ball 1. Ward hasn't been pitching necessarily poorly despite the score. He's only given up 3 hits. And only 1 of the runs was earned as the 1-0 pitch is cut on foul towards third base. Coach Brian Wilson, the third base coach for the Oaks, will glove it, or palm it, I guess you could say, because he doesn't wear a glove, and tosses it into the Oaks dugout.
Yeah, who needs a glove when you got a strong palm of your hand?
That's what I'm saying, Jonah. I guess they shouldn't wear gloves then. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's an evolving game. We'll see where it takes us.
The 1-1 from Ward, swung on and missed for strike number 2. That was the fastest pitch that Sean Ward has dealt today at 81 miles an hour. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away here in the bottom of the third. Grant Mayu at first base. Chase Cockerell, the Ole Miss Rebel, in the box. Ward toes the rubber, kicks and fires the 1-2. Cut on and missed for strike 3. Down goes Cockerell. That is the first strikeout on the day for Ward, and that'll bring up Cody Santana. 0 for 1 on the day, but he reached on an error back in the second inning, which eventually led him to score in his second season with the Oaks. The second CCL team, actually, he's played with. Started off last season with the Foresters before moving over to the Oaks. And, of course, his family in attendance almost every game as the first pitch runs outside, but called strike, a late call by the home plate umpire, 0-1 the count.
Yeah, they take to the road, they take to home. If there was
there's only been one road game.
If there was a game played in Niagara Falls, I can guarantee you they'd be there too.
It'd be hard to say no to going to Niagara Falls. The 0-1 pitch is ripped over to first, backhanding it is Jones, and covering first base is Ward, beating out Santana for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're through 3 full here from Sparky Anderson Field. Oaks lead it 3-1. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We will take a short break.
Christian Jones.
Christian Jones is going to lead us off here in the top of the 4th inning. My name is Jonathan Rifkin, and for play-by-play of the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings with the Oaks up 3-1, you're my broadcasting partner, Jonah Malkin.
Thank you, Johnny. Kenny Johnson still on the mound for the Oaks. He fires that one, and Christian hits that one over to center for a leadoff base hit. So no time to breathe. I was about to try and introduce him, but no introduction necessary. Christian Jones, the sophomore, heading into his sophomore year. Washington with that leadoff single. And up at the plate for the Ventura Halos, Nick Lacayo. Struck out back in the 2nd. Was attending South Mountain Community College, but is transferring to be a Michigan State Spartan in the fall. Johnson looks over Jones at first. Fires the 0-0 pitch. Zane Willems throws it over to Weinstein, and they're going to easily tag out Jones, who didn't get off to a good jump on that one.
Yeah, that was a questionable decision, Jonah. I'm surprised he even decided to keep going after he got that jump. Williams kind of took this time also behind the plate and said, I'm still going to snipe you. And now there's an easy out number 1.
Yeah, I figured there might be a little bit of patience, but nice heads-up throw by Willems. 1-0 the count. Inside for ball 2. 89-mile-an-hour fastball by Johnson comes upstairs. 2-0 pitch, identical spot for ball 3. Now Johnson has had a tremendous day. In a little over 3 innings pitched, has just given up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, but 6 huge strikeouts. He retired 5 of the first 6 batters for the Halos, but that's going to walk over Lacayo over to first, and that's Johnson's 2nd walk of the day.
Now batting, number 35.
Yeah, he only had 1 walk coming into today's game all season, but he's kind of being timid. He struck out the first 6 of the first 8 batters he faced, but kind of slowed down and is a little bit more timid, I think, on the mound. We'll see if that changes here.
Calvin Ferris for the Halos up at the batter's box for the 2nd time today. He got struck out back in the 2nd as well. He waits on that pitch for 1-0. Ferris, sophomore, attending Brown University from San Diego, California. In just 23 games, he did manage to get an RBI, along with 278 on-base percentage. Attended Grossmont High School as well. And he's another one of these kind of utility players. Interestingly, in 2015, he was a 2nd-team All-League and a Pitcher of the Year for the outfielder. So interesting stat line for him. Johnson throws it over to Santana to try and pick off Lacayo, but it comes in late. 1-0 the count. 1 on, 1 away here in the top of the 4th. With Calvin Ferris, the Brown Bear, in the batter's box. 1-0 pitch, fouled back for strike 1. Halos on the day, 1 run, 3 hits, but costly 2 errors. Perhaps that might not show on the scoreboard now, but it might end up affecting them later on in this game as Johnson tries to back pick again to Santana, but it's late. 1's across the boards. 1 ball, 1 strike. Johnson collects himself on the mound. Looking at Willems, takes the signal, and he wants to talk it over again. Steps away from the mound. Didn't like that call. Remember to follow us on @Conejo_Oaks or @Jonah_Malkin or @Johnny Riff for us. 1-1 pitch hit right up to short. Mayu's going to glove it and throw it over to Santana for out number 2. So Lacayo will advance over to second on the fielder's choice, but Mayu does manage to get out Ferris. And up at the plate for the Halos is Bryson Wallet. The designated hitter on the day, undecided.
That could be one of my favorite last names, Jonah. Wallet. Guess he always has money on his mind, huh?
I like absolutely. That should be one of the mottos, I guess, in life, perhaps. Or
Maybe
not.
his motto.
0-1 pitch. 0-0 pitch upstairs for ball one. Lacayo over at second with 2 away, and Wallet up at the plate. Johnson checks off Ferris at second. Fires the 0-0 pitch high for ball two. 86-mile-an-hour fastball. That was probably the first pitch that got away from Johnson tremendously. Now, Wallet was playing for Ventura Community College back in 2016 and this past season, but he's deciding to take his talents elsewhere, but he's still undecided. As he swings and misses on the 2-0 pitch. So 2-1.
Beautiful off-speeder right there. After you go 2 fastballs that weren't hitting the strike zone, you throw an off-speed. And he did a very good job keeping the batter off balance.
2-1 pitch comes in low for ball three. Just the second batter for the Halos to be up in the count. That shows you the type of success that Johnson has had all day, despite giving up 1 run. He's been phenomenal on the mound so far, but down in the count, 3-1. Fires that one, swung and missed to bring the count at full.
Another full count, Jonah. Now the 4th batter that Kenny Johnson's had to face in a full count situation. And that matches Sean Ward on the Halos side, who's had 4 full counts as well today.
Johnson delivers the 3-2 pitch, swung and missed for strike number 7 on the day. Johnson keeps the Oaks at bay, up 2 as we head into the bottom of the 4th. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Oaks baseball on KDTV.
Connor.
New pitcher on the mound for the Halos is Connor Arnold, the redshirt senior from Cal State San Bernardino. He's been all over the place, though. He used to play at Antelope Valley College back in 2016 for the Martyrs, before taking his talents to California once again. He fires the 1-0 pitch. That's fouled back from Brandon Lewis for 0-1. Brandon Lewis up at the plate once again for the Oaks. He hit the RBI triple back in the 2nd inning. That gave the Oaks their first lead of the day. So he takes that one outside for ball 1. The Oaks on the day, 3 runs, 3 hits. 1-1 pitch swung and popped, foul. Running to try and track it down is Christian Jones, but it's going to go out for strike 2. Brandon Lewis has played well the past couple games, has a homer for himself on the season yesterday. Against the Riptide, went 1 for 3. Struck out once, but did have a run scored. 1-2 pitch, low for ball 2. Connor Arnold this season just played 12 games, did have 1 start. Through 16 strikeouts. He turns his back and fires the 2-2 upstairs for ball 3. Full count once again for the Oaks players. They've had a number of these.
This is number 5 for the Oaks. Common motif on both sides has been full counts.
Full count pitch comes in, swung and missed for strike 3. So down goes Lewis to start off the bottom of the 4th. And make that Connor Arnold's first strikeout of the day.
Number 30, Milo Dean.
Yeah, nice high fastball there. Lewis thought that he could get under it. Unfortunately, he swung right through it and was sent back to the bench.
Milo Beam, the Boilermaker, up at the plate. He kind of tapped one over to the catcher back in the second as he shows bunt and takes that one low for ball 1. He's been struggling, though, recently. Went 0 for 4 yesterday. As he swings on the 1-0 pitch deep into center left. Running back on it is Provost, but he can't do it. Bean's going to come around second, is going to be held up at third. Milo Beam hits a rocket deep into left center and gets him a solo triple.
Yeah, great attempt out there, though, by Provost. He just couldn't get his glove under the ball in the dive quite in time. Now the second triple in the ballgame for the Oaks. That's pretty awesome to watch.
And it's such an anomaly that a triple, doubles are obviously very common. Triples are very, very special. So nice job from Milo Beam as Zane Willems swings on the 0-0 pitch for strike 1. Willems take his talents to Texas Tech in the fall. Loves to talk about Texas. Every time we talk to him, he just loves all the food. He loves the music.
Loves
Loves
his
country.
sweet tea.
Loves the atmosphere. He swings once again on the 0-1 pitch. Tapped back for 0-2.
Yeah,
He's
he loves his sweet tea, Jonah, and his barbecue. Not impressed with the barbecue here in Southern California, which, look, it's not Texas barbecue, but I think it's pretty good.
Also makes sense. He'd probably have a bias coming
fair.
from Texas. He waits on the 0-2 pitch that fouls back right in our faces.
Yeah, I saw
Fortunately,
that
the net
flinch.
was right there.
Jonah, I was getting ready to jump out in front of you and protect you just in case.
I'm not going to lie, I did flinch. That was fouled back at about 80 miles an hour right in front of us. Fortunately, we have that fence. I want to thank Cal Lutheran for providing us that safety.
I want to thank the fence makers.
0-2 pitch, swung and fouled to stay alive. 1 on and 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th. Beam over at third, Willems at the plate. Oh, and 2's the count. Arnold sets himself. Checks off Beam at third, fires the 0-2 pitch, hit up the middle, and not gonna get there is Steele, but Beam's gonna come home. So that's an RBI single for Willems. After the generous bounce, Oaks lead 4-1 here in the bottom of the 4th.
And we'll see if they give him an error on that one. Nope, they're going to count it as an RBI single. Interesting decision by the scorekeepers, but can't argue too much with it. Nice job there from Willems to get the job done.
The generous one-hopper bounces about 15 feet up in the air to send Beam home. DJ Miller comes into the plate and waits on the 0-0 pitch for ball 1. Willems doing a nice job staying patient. As we talked about, that's been a common theme of these Oaks batters today. Arnold delivers the 1-0 pitch, swung and missed for strike one. Nice low fastball below the knees, and Miller was caught swinging. So Willems over at first, and Miller in a 1-1 count. Arnold looks back, sets and fires the 1-1 upstairs for ball two.
That pitch at 90 miles an hour. That's quite a change from the Oaks having to face the starter, Sean Ward, whose fastest pitch was at 81, and he only threw it once. His mean was about 76 on his fastball and 69, 71 on his off-speed pitches.
Yeah, Arnold trying to establish himself as he fires the 2-2 pitch, gloved by Charminati. And he's able to get Willems over at second. What a glove by Charmonti.
Yeah, Blake Shiramonte able to get it on the one-hopper. Beautiful dive, backhanding it. And this is his second year with the Halos. He knows exactly what he needs to do in the field to be successful. And that was a beautiful play to watch. He's undecided on where he wants to go. He played at Moorpark College last year. But I think that he has a bright future ahead, especially in the field. Boy, what a grab.
If that glove says anything about his future, it's got to be sky high. Incredible reaction time as Jason Oliver coming in, and Miller's going to run and steal to second. Nice heads-up play by Miller. Jason Oliver back in for the Oaks. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a single in the first and a fly out to center in the second. Finds himself down 0-1 in the count, swings, and now he's down 0-2. Now Arnold was struggling this past season, had a 10.71 ERA in just a little over 19 innings pitched this past season. But he's up in the count here, 0-2, checks off Miller at second.
Yeah, he had a rough season as a redshirt senior, and now he's just here to try to hone the pitching skills that he's developed over the years.
Checks off Miller, fires the 0-2 pitch, and that's going to be strike number 3. That's his second strikeout on the day as the Oaks still managed to put one more on the boards and lead 4-1 with 4 runs and 5 hits. And the Halos still stuck at 1 run on 3 hits and 2 errors. You're watching Oaks baseball on KDTV. We'll be right back. Blake Shiramonte up at the plate as the leadoff hitter for the Halos, occupying the 7th spot. On deck, Jake Peters, and in the hole is Charles Steele. Shiramonte was attending Moorpark College, but right now he's undecided. Kenny Johnson still on the mound, fires that one. That's foul to the left for strike 1. Johnson on the day still a little over 4 innings pitched. Impressive, just giving up 3 hits, 1 run, but 7 strikeouts. Finds himself up early in the count, 0-1. Oaks lead 4-1 here in the top of the 5th. Shiramonte takes a step back, wants to take a breath. Johnson takes the signal from Willems. Steps in and fires the 0-1 curveball that catches the inside for strike 2. Beautiful curveball from Johnson. Shiramonte waits on the 0-2 pitch. Check swing. Appeal from the umpire for strike 3. So that's Johnson's 8th strikeout on the day.
Now batting number 19.
Quickly dispatching a number of these halos. Impressive stuff from Johnson today on the mound.
Yeah, 8 strikeouts, and the most we saw from Oaks in the last 2 years was last year. Jacob Patterson, who was drafted today in the 16th round, through an 11 strikeout game. We'll see here if Johnson can top that.
Jake Peters pops one over to right. Miller's going to run and try and track it down near the sideline, and he's going to make the catch for out number 2.
Well, Johnson may not be thinking about his strikeouts, and we won't think about it too much because at the end of the day, all that matters is that they get the out. And that's what he's been doing. He has been a proficient pitcher thus far in the game. Yes, he's given up a run, and yes, he's given up 3 hits, but through 4 innings and now 5 innings, I guess you could say, of work, can't complain too much if you're Solis and company.
Absolutely. Johnson just a force of nature on the mound. 8 strikeouts, impressive. That's a season high. 0-0 pitch hit from Steele up to shallow right, and that's going to be a base hit. So that's just the 4th hit given up on the day for Johnson. But nice 0-0 pitch from Steele from the Colorado State native. And back up at the plate for the Halos is Dayton Provost. Now remember, the Oaks will be in a busy schedule next week, but for this week they'll play the Foresters tomorrow as well as the Halos again on Friday. But next week we'll be on an 8-game stretch. We'll break more of that down later on. Just wanted to give you a heads up.
Thank you, Jonah.
It's Provost in the batter's box. Waits on the 0-0 pitch high upstairs for ball 1. We also want to thank our sponsors, Roadrunner, for providing us transportation, especially to the game a few days ago in Irvine, as well as Stephen Joseph Sweet, Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine. We appreciate you supporting the Oaks. Johnson looks back and fires that one to Santana for the back pick, but it came in late. 1-0 is the count. Oaks still lead 4-1 with 1 on and 2 away here in the top of the 5th. Johnson sets and fires. That one swung over to Santana, who's going to make the easy grab for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Oaks still lead 4-1 as we head into the bottom of the 5th. Top of the order, Weinstein, Mayu, and Cockrell's up next. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We'll take a short break.
Now batting number 19, Max Weinstein.
2, 3, and 4 is the order for the Oaks as we head into the bottom of the 5th. Max Weinstein up at the plate. Grant Mayu on deck, followed by Chase Cockrell in the hole. Arnold still on the mound for the Halos. Fires that one. Weinstein pops that over to right. And that's going to be a leadoff base hit, and he's going to continue running to second. Lackadaisical play from Provost over in right field. Could have made an easy holdup at first, but decided to stay patient, and Weinstein said, hey, I'm going to keep running over to second. So a leadoff double from Weinstein.
Yeah, Weinstein has been trying to go opposite field in all three of his at-bats. He's 0 for 2 coming into that at-bat. Both of his flyouts were to right. That time finding the sweet spot in that right center field area, able to get it down for a double.
A nice heads-up play from Weinstein. Grant Mayu back in the play takes that ball outside for strike one. 88-mile-an-hour fastball catches the outside corner. So Weinstein over at second, and Mayu up at the plate. Arnold checks off Weinstein at second, fires the 0-1 pitch, hit, and another. It's going to drop in right shallow. Weinstein's going to come around to third, but he's going to be held up. So Mayu with a nice shallow hit to right field. That sends Weinstein over to third.
Mayu has been working on that opposite field power, I guess you could say, or contact in batting practice today. He only focused on opposite field contact, and there it paid off.
Especially with one of the big bats for the Oaks leaving and Frankie Tostado. Mayu's going to try and fill that void for them.
He's going to have to.
Starting off nicely with a walk and now a single, and Chase Cockrell up at the plate for the Oaks. He struck out back in the third, got walked over in the second, swings and foul to the left for strike one. 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Arnold. Oaks impressive 7 hits so far on the day, still lead 4-1. Meanwhile, the Halos still stuck at 1 run with 4 hits and 2 costly errors. Arnold tries to pick off Mayu at first, but it's going to come in late.
Mayu has a large frame, and he definitely has some explosiveness, but he's not one to really swipe second base. Unless it's absolutely called upon by him, it's not going to do it out of his own will.
0-1 pitch delivered, and Cockrell's going to foul that back for 0-2. Weinstein over at third, and Mayu over at first. Chase Cockrell, the Ole Miss Rebel, trying to capitalize on a potential two-run scoring opportunity for the Oaks. And that's going to be a balk by Arnold. Tried to step off, and Weinstein's going to come home, and Mayu's going to come to second. So once again, another error. Now the error on the pitcher. That's the first balk we've seen all season, Johnny.
Yeah, that was really interesting. While it doesn't go up as an error on the board, I do agree that it really is an error.
It certainly seems like
because he tried to step off and move that right back foot off the rubber.
So Cockrell up at the plate. Weinstein came home, and Mayu over at second as Cockrell fouls that to the left to keep the count at 0-2.
And you can't complain now if you're the Oaks up 5-1. You'll take those free runs if you can get them.
Oaks were in a similar situation yesterday, led 4-0 midway through the 5th. But hopefully they can continue their success with 1 on and no away. Cockrell swings on the 0-2 pitch, gloved by Shiramonte, who's going to throw it over to Jones for out number 1. A nice job from the Halos infield to try and salvage that run that they gave up.
Yeah, Shiramonte is probably, in my mind, one of the best, if not the best, third baseman, fielding-wise, in the CCL. He just has an unbelievable IQ over there at third base, and he does it with so much ease. It's quite a sight to watch.
It's possible he has the best last name in the CCL as well.
I don't know. I think Wallet takes the cake for me, John.
Wallet's pretty close with Cody Santana up at the plate. Swings on the 0-0 pitch for strike 1. There certainly are a number of good last names. Obviously now with Tostado going, that was certainly up there.
That really was. And, you know, there's still a long season and a lot of teams to play, so I'm sure this is the beginning of many of these conversations.
Absolutely. As Mayu still stuck at second with Cody Santana up at the plate. Swings on the 0-1 pitch that's fouled to the right near the Halos dugout. and he's down in the count 0-2. Oaks still lead now 5-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. They're nearing potentially their 8th consecutive 10-plus hit game of the season as they're at 7. Arnold checks off Mayu at second and throws that one in. Santana's going to pop that one over to Lacayo at left field, who's going to make the grab for out number 2.
I haven't seen Santana go opposite field a lot in this one, and he just got a little bit too late under that pitch. Ended up popping it out to Lacayo. And now trouble kind of eluding Arnold on the mound, but he's not out of it yet.
Yeah, Santana typically hits it. He typically pulls it to the right on most occasions. But Brandon Lewis back at the plate for the Oaks. Struck out in his last at-bat, but does have an impressive RBI triple in the 2nd. Arnold still on the mound, checks off Mayo at second, throws the 0-0 pitch that's downstairs for ball 1. Once again, an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. He is really creeping up the speed chart, or the speedometer that we're speed radar, gun radar, speed gun, however you want to call it. If you're tracking at home, as the 0-1 pitch is fouled back above our heads for strike 1. Remember to tweet at us, either on our YouTube stream or at oaksbaseball.org. I'm at Jonah_Malkin, and my broadcaster, Johnny, is at Johnny Riff with 1 F. I made sure to take note of that, and the wild pitch is going to send Mayu over to third. Wasn't going to muff that one up a second time. He was a little salty the first time.
No, I
with
wasn't
2 Fs.
salty. No.
Sometimes you have to make mistakes to illuminate things. So for
I'm not
those-
going to argue with you, Jonah, but I would say
is-
salty may be a strong word.
It's absolutely 1 F for anyone keeping track at home. Malkin's pretty. There's not too much confusion there.
Is that spelled with a C in the middle or a K?
As the 2-1 pitch swung and missed by Lewis for strike 2. 90-mile-an-hour fastball right down the pipe for Arnold. 2s across the boards. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 on and 2 away. Mayu over at third. 2-2 pitch outside for ball 3. Once again, another full count situation for the Oaks. That's their 6th one of the day.
A lot. This is the most that we've seen. They only had 3 combined in the last 2 games.
Oh, the 3-2 pitch comes in, popped up into Christian Jones in territory after first, and he's going to get underneath it to make the 3rd out of the inning. So the Oaks, thanks to the balk by Arnold, put 1 more on the boards and lead 5-1 on 7 hits as we head into the top of the 6th. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We'll take a short break. Rodolfo Aguilera, also known as Rudy by his friends and teammates up at the plate for the Halos. The Ventura College Pirate struck out back in the 3rd and did have a single in the 1st, but was cleverly picked off by Willems. As he swings on the 0-0 pitch, that's fouled back for 0-1. Quickly down in the count. Oaks still lead 5-1 here in the top of the 6th. Meanwhile, the Halos still at 1 with stuck at just 4 hits and 2 errors. 0-1 pitch outside for ball 1.
Oh, that was a close one, Jonah, at 78 miles an hour. That would look good from here. And it was interesting because Aguilar looked back at the home plate umpire, thinking that it was going to be a strike, but got the call.
1-1 pitch hit up the middle for a leadoff single by Aguilar.
And Aguilar's actually having a very good day out of the number 2 spot. He has 2 of the team's 5 hits.
Christian Jones.
He's done a nice job so far today, and Christian Jones up at the plate, occupying the 3rd spot. He's 1 for 2 with a strikeout in the 1st, a single in the 4th, but was also picked off. So twice the Oaks infield's done a nice job. Kenny Johnson still on the mound. Sets and fires the 0-0 pitch. Jones waits on that. That's low and outside for ball 1. Jones from Federal Way, Washington. In fact, played for 2 club teams, the Bend Elks and the Bellingham Bells. They're also Washington teams as he swings on the breaking ball for strike 1.
Yeah, actually, Zach Knoll, an Oaks pitcher last year up at the University of Oregon, is going to make his debut with the Bellingham Bells in the West Coast League. Very prominent summer collegiate team up in Washington.
1-1 pitch, 1-1 count. Johnson fires that one low in the ground for ball 2. Johnson plays his ball at Cal State Bakersfield along with fellow teammate Jason Oliver. Started 2 games this season. Did have 6.21 ERA as he goes for the pickoff. They're not going to get it, but had an impressive 26 strikeouts, which is not surprising given he has started off phenomenally today with 8. He's up ahead. He's ahead in the count, 2-1. Delivers that pitch, hit by Jones deep into right center. Miller trying to run back on it. It's going to drop into right shallow, bringing Aguilar to home. He's going to try and get there. Willems make the catch, and he's going to get him out. So Jones with a nice deep double into right field. Aguilar thought he had the distance, and a great throw from Weinstein to Willems to get out Aguilar at home.
Wow. What a relay out into right field where the center fielder Oliver was able to glove it, get it into Weinstein, and the relay was in time as Willems was able to tent up his body, swing his body around in motion while catching the ball and tagging him on a beautiful out.
Jones hit a great shot. Aguilar was sprinting fast around 3rd, but heads-up play from the Oaks infield with Nick Lakaya for the Halos. Half swings on that one for strike 1. Just a quick series of events there.
Series of unfortunate events if you're the Halos.
Series of fortunate events for the Oaks.
Yeah, you still give up that double, but at least you didn't have to give up that run, or you were able to gun out the runner and save it that run.
Johnson takes the signal from Willems. 0-1's the count. Looks off Jones at second, fires that pitch that slides outside for ball 1. One of the things Johnson told us he loves utilizing when he's up in the count is that 0-2 slider, as well as his fastball. 1-1 pitch low in the dirt for ball 2. Lacayo on the day got walked back in the 4th. Struck out back in the 2nd. But trying to capitalize on the double from Jones. Johnson checks off Jones at second and fires the 2-1 pitch that outside for ball 3.
Yeah, a little too far up and in for Johnson, and he's been missing a lot up in today's game. It looks like he's releasing that fastball just a little bit too far off his last three fingers, his pinky, his ring, and his middle, and that's why it's been getting away from him. That's called tail. He's trying to eliminate some of that tail here.
Johnson, just a sophomore, 19 years of age, fires the 3-1 pitch, and that one's crushed into left, center, left, and making the grab on it is Beam for out number 2. What a great grab by Beam, falling back, trying to track it down over his head and able to glove that.
Milo Beam showing the speed. One of the reasons why he's so successful at Purdue, and a great catch there.
And Willems wants to talk it over, as well as Coach Solis to Johnson, and that's going to do it for Johnson. So we'll have a new pitcher on the mound, and we'll break down all that and much more. We'll take a short break. Don't go anywhere. New pitcher on the mound for the Oaks is Joey Tasiglio, taking over the job for Kenny Johnson, who went 5 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 6 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, but an impressive 8 strikeouts. Tasiglio fires the 0-0 pitch, catches the outside corner for strike 1. Up the plate for the Halos, Calvin Ferris, the right fielder out of Brown University. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout in the second. 0-1 pitch, identical outside corner for strike 2. So quickly ahead in the count.
Both those pitches at 89 miles an hour. Tasiglio from CSUN, he is transferring, not sure where he's going. Does have a lot of pop in that kick. He's not very tall, but he has the good velocity.
And there's a pinch runner for Jones. We'll get that to you in just a second. Tasiglio fires the 0-2 pitch high and outside for strike 1 for ball 1. Ferris trying to add potentially a score as he checks swings, and that will, they're looking at the appeal from the other umpire, and that will do it. So a quick 1-2-3 strikeout for Tasiglio as he enters the game, taking over Johnson. So no runs, 1 left on base, no errors for the Halos as we head into the bottom of the 6th. Oaks still lead 5-1. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We'll be right back.
play first base now.
The Oaks would also like to thank our sponsors, Roadrunner Shuttle, Jim John Sandwich, and Crony.
By the way, you said 1-2-3 strikeout. Just say 3-pitch strikeout because normally when someone says 1-2-3, it's like a 1-2-3 inning.
Agreed.
Yeah.
3-pitch strikeout.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you got what you were trying to say across, which was fine. But
Yeah, no, that's 3-pitch strikeout. Gotcha. It should be Beam, I believe. Yeah.
why does this kid spell Connor with this K? So dumb. Alrighty.
Bottom of the order here as we head into the bottom of the 6th. Milo Beam occupying the 7th spot. On deck, Zane Willems, and in the hole is DJ Miller. Milo Beam, the Purdue Boilermaker, leading off for the Oaks as they lead 5-1 with 7 hits on the day. 0-0 pitch shows bunt in the ground for ball 1. On the mound for the Halos is still Connor Arnold. In a little over 2 innings pitched, he's given up 2 hits, 2 runs that were both earned, but does have a couple strikeouts on the day. Beam, 1 for 2. Takes that pitch outside for strike 1. Hit a triple back in the 4th. Also had a run scored. Swings on the 1-0 pitch. That drops for strike 1. 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball by Arnold, one of his slowest pitches of the day. This Beam quickly down in the count 1-2, swings, or takes that pitch high for ball 2. 91-mile-an-hour fastball from Arnold. Keeps the count at 2-2. Inside for ball 3, and that's full count. Milo Beam, the Westfield, Indiana product, just 19 years of age. He was the one that made that incredible grab in the last top of the inning in left field. Swings on the 3-2 pitch, and he's going to go down for strike 3. So make that Arnold's 3rd strikeout of the day. Zane Willems coming up to the plate for the Oaks. Willems has been fantastic today. He's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. An RBI single in the 4th and an RBI single in the 2nd for the Texas Tech catcher as he swings on the first pitch he sees. Running over there is Rosenberg to try and make the grab near his dugout, and he's going to do it for out number 2. Rosenberg running dangerously close to his dugout, but said, baseball's more important than my safety, and stuck that glove and got underneath it for a nice catch in the 2nd out of the inning. And up for the Oaks is DJ Miller. 0 for 2 on the day with a fielder's choice, but make that 1 for 3 after the base hit up to right, shallow. And a nice hit by Miller right on time. Just as we were saying, he was 0 for 2 on a couple fielder's choices. Make that 1 for 3.
Yeah, hard to complain out of the number 9 spot, getting some production. And now they have some speed on there with 2 away.
And Jason Oliver up at the plate for the Oaks. Bakersfield native. Arnold goes for the pickoff, but it's a late throw, and Miller's able to get there in time. So 1 on and 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Miller over at first, Oliver in the batter's box. Arnold sets and fires the 0-0 pitch. That's hit into right, and it's going to be caught by Ferris for out number 3. So the score is still 5-1 as we head into the top of the 7th. Oaks still stuck at 7 hits. Meanwhile, the Halos just 1 run on 6 hits and 2 errors. We're getting towards the Final 3 innings of the game here at Spark Anderson Field. Don't go anywhere. We'll take a short break. So you can't say 7th inning stretch right now.
It would be in between the top of the 7th.
Welcome back here at George Spark Anderson Field as we head into the top of the 7th. And for the rest of play-by-play and all your concerns, my broadcasting partner, Jonathan Rifkin.
I'm like a flight attendant. Anytime you have any concerns or questions, you need anything, please feel free to press your flight attendant button, and I'll be right there. Middle of the order, due up for the Halos in a 5-1 ball game. The first pitch, and Bryson Wallet is taking on the outside corner for a strike. On the day for Wallet, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Joe DeCigli back on the mound as he fires in the 0-1 pitch low for ball 1. Oaks up 5-1 here in the top of the 7th in a game that they are looking to hold on to after blowing yesterday's game. The 1-1 pitch is a fastball high and away, ball 2.
Yeah, exactly. They were up 4-0 yesterday also before they let that lead slip away, and ultimately that lead, I don't even know what to say, a lead. They ended up losing 15-7.
I will argue, though, that this lead is going later than yesterday's lead as the 2-1 pitch is in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike now from the CSUN product, who is transferring. He's undecided where he's going to go, but looking to go somewhere as Wallet is ahead in the count 3-1. DeCigli deals a fastball high and away, and that is ball 4. So the leadoff walk here to kick off the 7th inning has a runner on first base. The first walk on the day for Joey DeCigli, and the third walk for the Oaks in general, and that's going to bring up a pinch hitter for Blake Shiramonte in the form of number 25, Arnett Johnson from Cal State Los Angeles. So Johnson comes in for Shiramonte, who went 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a flyout as the first pitch that Johnson sees is in the shallow right center field. Running in on it is Oliver, and he's going to make the grab for out number 1. So the pinch hitter did not pay off for the Halos as they have one away and one on here in a 5-1 ball game in the top of the 7th. Give you the lay of the land here for the Oaks. Out and right is DJ Miller, and center is Jason Oliver. Milo Beeman left. Cody Santana at first. Max Weinstein at second. Grant Mayu at short. Chase Cockrell at third. Behind the dish, Zane Willems. On the mound is Joey DeCigli. And in the batter's box is Jake Peters, who's 1 for 2 on the day, as he takes an 84-mile-an-hour fastball high and away for ball 1. He had a single back in the 5th, and he also grounded up to the pitcher in the 2nd. DeCigli checks the runner at first, fires the 1-0 pitch once again high for ball number 2. Oaks have some bullpen action. So do the Halos as we get into the latter part of this game. Quick game as we're hitting the 6:10 mark, and first pitch was at 4:30 Pacific time. 2-0 pitch from DeCigli is fired up once again for ball 3.
Yeah, DeCigli has been struggling just recently to start this inning to find in the strike zone. Normally, he's got great velocity on his pitches for the left-hander. Southpaw.
Short but effective with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Kicks and fires the 3-0. Popped foul. Swung and fouled back. An interesting decision here by Peters to swing at the 3-0 pitch, and we've seen that happen a number of times this season, and it hasn't paid off yet by anybody.
Yeah, normally that really hasn't been a success formula
for batters. The 3-1. Low and inside, and DeCigli walks Peters. So 2 walks in the inning, In between those two walks was a flyout. So 1 down, runners on first and second now. And the second walk sufficed by DeCeglie. Brings up the number 9 batter, Charles Steele. 0 for 1 on the day with a walk in the third, a run scored, the only run on the day for the Halos. He also grounded out to first in the fifth. Colorado State Ram taps the base a couple of times, swings that bat, shoulders it. DeCeglie checks the runner at second, kicks and fires the first pitch away for ball 1.
One of the things I've noticed from DeCeglie so far is he's kept most of his pitches high, or not necessarily high, but outside, refusing to test the inside reaction of these Halo batters.
Feel free to tweet at us at Caneo_Oaks or live chat in the upper right YouTube boxes. The 1-0 pitch is cut it and missed for strike number 1. 1-1 the count. 1 away here in the top of the 7th. 5-1 the Oaks lead. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Oaks. 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Halos. The Oaks have hit in double digits every single one of their first 9 games. The 1-1 pitch is a fastball swung and missed for strike number 2. They need 2 more hits here to continue that streak of double-digit hit games. That's a pretty impressive stat, as they are 7-2, 4-2 in the CCL. The Halos are 4-4. All of the games have played or have been in the CCL. The 1-2 from DeCeglie, cut it and missed. A 92-mile-an-hour fastball for strike number 3. Down goes Steele. The first strikeout on the game by DeCeglie, the 9th for the Oaks collectively, and there are 2 away with 2 on.
Yeah, great job from DeCeglie finding the inside corner. I was just mentioning his, don't want to say refusal to go inside, but preference of throwing those outside, but a nice job of finding the upper inside corner for strike 3.
Stepping in now, the top of the order for Dayton Provost. 1 for 3 on the day with a strikeout and an RBI double in the third. He takes the first pitch he sees high and inside for ball 1. The Oaks will be looking forward to a game tomorrow against the Santa Barbara Foresters. That'll be at 4:30 here at Cal Lutheran, 4:20 pregame. Then on Friday, the Halos will make their way back into the Conejo Valley for the second game of the week, as the 1-0 pitch is a curveball dropping at the knees for a strike. That'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Expect a big turnout tomorrow against the Foresters. Foresters travel very, very well, and of course the Oaks' biggest rival. The Foresters are the number 1 team in the country collegiately. They win the national championship hosted by the World Baseball Congress last year. So 1-1 from DeCeglie is another curveball. This one runs up though, 2-1 the count. And you know the Oaks are looking to avenge that championship loss last season. They dropped the 2 games to lose the championship to the Foresters. And that was the last time these 2 teams met. Of course, Bill Pintard and Coach David Solis have gone head-to-head for 10 years. DeCeglie checks the runner at second and fires the 2-1 pitch up high for ball 3. We'll give you more on that tomorrow and what promises to be a fun bout. A lot of information, a lot of fun stories to tell, but in the rich history of the Oaks-Foresters rivalry. A couple of Central teams duking it out here today, as the 3-1 pitch awaits Provost. He steps in, waves that bat over his left shoulder. DeCeglie toes the rubber, peers and fires the 3-1, and it's foul tipped to bring the count full. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. On first base is Jake Peters. On second base is Bryson Wallet. Both of them walked in this inning. Johnson flew out to center, and Steele struck out. And that's how we've gotten to where we are thus far in the inning. Full count, 2 away, 2 on here. And DeCeglie is going to try and avoid loading the bases. He toes the rubber, gloves the ball, kicks and fires the payoff pitch, and it's popped foul out of play, and we'll do it again at 3-2. This is the 7th full count batter we've seen in this game combined by these 2 teams. That is a very impressive stat. A lot of patience and a lot of intuition in the batter's box from both the Halos and the Oaks. Unfortunately, though, for the Halos, the Oaks have been prevailing. 5-1 the score here. The 3-2 again. Cut on a grounder to Weinstein at second. He'll take it over to Santana at first for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a couple left on base. We're through 6.5. Go grab a hot dog and a soda. Maybe sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" as we have hit the 7th inning stretch. We're going to take a break and let you enjoy the in-between innings. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. 5-1 our score at the break. Hope you enjoyed your 7th inning stretch. We sure did. In the bottom of the 7th, Max Weinstein is going to lead us off in a 5-1 ball game. It's the first pitch he sees is a curveball tipped back for strike number 1 on the mound. In his 4th inning of work is Connor Arnold, trying to extend this game. 5-1 the score. The Oaks holding on to that 4-run lead as Arnold Pearson fires the 0-1 pitch. Inside, Weinstein checked his swing, and they're saying he went around for strike number 2. On today for Max Weinstein, 1 for 3 with a double. He was balked home and scored a run back in the 5th and flew out to right a couple of times. The 0-2 from Arnold. Swung and missed for strike number 3. Down goes Weinstein to kick off the Oaks half of the 7th. A 4th strikeout on the day from the Cal State Dominguez Hills product.
Now batting number 9, Grant Mayu.
And there's one away for Grant Mayu. Mayu on the day, 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a double play ball he hit. Takes a curveball out the knees for a strike. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Oaks. 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Halos. Both teams duking it out for Central Division implications. The 0-1 pitch cut on and missed for strike number 2.
Not to mention potentially bragging rights, at least in the short term.
Towing the rubber as Johnson takes that sidestep, kicks and fires the 0-2. Mayu pops it high in the sky to shallow right field, running in on his Ferris, and he's going to make the catch for out number 2. Quick 2 outs here for Arnold and company.
Now batting number 30.
And that's going to bring up the cleanup hitter, Chase Cockrell. 0 for 2 on the day with a walk, a strikeout, and a ground out to third. By the way, Arnett Johnson is at third base in place of Blake Shiramonte. He was pinch hit for in the last inning. The first pitch into Cockrell runs low for ball 1. Cockrell from Ole Miss in the cleanup spot for the Oaks, trying to bring in the power, something that the Oaks have been lacking compared to last year's the 1-0 pitch is at the knees for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Oaks up 5-1. This is definitely a more contact approach, or this team approach more contact than last year's team, as the 1-1 pitch from Arnold is fired inside but called strike. 1-2 the count. Last year the Oaks had a lot more home runs thus far in the season. They had Eric Ramirez, who was a home run hitter, Chad Spanberg, who was drafted yesterday, a home run hitter, Chad Bible, who's a home run hitter. This year, not as many prominent home run hitters. The 1-2 pitch is a curveball in the dirt. 2-2 the count, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you can hit for contact and find your spots in the field, as long as you're driving in the runs, It's hard to complain, and that's why the Oaks have been so successful thus far in the season. Arnold kicks and fires the 2-2. Up high, and now a full count once again, the 8th one we've seen in this game.
Yeah, well, the Oaks like to do everything by committee. Get a number of consecutive runs that can fortunately or hopefully lead to base hits, and that's been their recipe for success so far this season.
The 32 pitch is grounded to second, diving on into steal, and he's not going to be able to glove as it'll hit off his glove into center field. That should be a base hit for Cockrell. We'll wait for the official score before we chalk it down in the scorebook. But I believe they will give him a hit, and they do. So a single by Jace Cockrell gives the Oaks a 2-out base runner. The 4th hit given up by Arnold and the 9th hit in the game. So the Oaks need one more hit to continue their season-long double-digit hitting streak and push it to 10 games. That is quite a feat.
That's just remarkable. Shows the type of consistency and an overall longevity of this team. You're looking at, and this isn't just the same players playing every single day. They get rotated out, but no one misses a step as they're each able to contribute greatly to this team's success.
Runner on first base is Cockrell. He just singled. Cody Santana steps in, 0 for 3 on the day, but he did reach on an error in the second. Came around to score the first run of the ball game for the Oaks. Since then, they put up 4 more. 5-1 the score for the Hawaii Pacific Shark. The first pitch is a fastball at the knees for strike 1. On first base is Cockrell for his second time of the day. He was able to get his first hit just moments ago. 2 away, 1 on, 0-1 the count to Santana. The Oaks veteran, if you will, in his second year with the team. The 0-1 pitch is cut and missed. The 75-mile-an-hour off speeder for strike number 2.
Yeah, that's another one of those pitches where Santana was licking his lips as that one was dropping into the strike zone. He thought he had that one. The second time, that just kind of got away from him.
Santana's behind in the count. Oh, no balls and 2 strikes. Waves that bat over his left shoulder. Arnold comes set, toes the rubber, kicks and fires the 0-2 outside for ball 1. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Oaks. 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Halos. The Halos have been getting those hits, but they left a runner on base every single one of the last 5 innings, and it's really hurt them. A total of 7 left on base in those 5 innings, and that could have been the difference. Arnold checks the runner at first. Pearson fires the 1-2. It's a pitch in the dirt. Cut on and missed. For strike 3, down goes Santana. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're through 7 full here from Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks lead at 5-1. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV, simulcasted to YouTube. We'll be right back.
Now pitching for the Oaks, number 28, David Appleby.
So DeSigley went 2 1/3. Oh, 1 1/3. Robbie's going to warm up. Robbie. Salisa's like, I'm not blowing this game. We're going to throw Robbie early. No, I think Appleby gets out of the 8th. You put in Robbie to close it out, you're chilling. Robbie's going to do an inning of play-by-play either tomorrow or Friday.
Can you do one of yours?
Yeah, yeah, you can do it. You can be on color with him if you want.
Just because you have more.
No, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you want to be on with him, I have no problem with that. Maybe I'll plug in one of the wireless and we do a 3-person.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, I told him to do it early, so maybe like the second or third inning he'll do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what he does at school. I'm like, he's like, can I do play?
Does he
I'm
really?
like, yeah,
Good
yeah,
for
he's
him.
the broadcast assistant.
Now back, number 2, Rodolfo Aguilar.
Rudy Aguilar is going to step in and lead things off here in the top of the 8th for the Oaks. Welcome back, everybody, to Oaks Baseball. 5-1 our score. Oaks leading the Halos. Jonah Malkin, myself, Jonathan Rifkind. Happy to be with you on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday afternoon. A fun day of baseball has been present here at Sparky Anderson Field as the new pitcher on the mound for the Oaks is David Appleby out of Santa Barbara City College. Started his career at Utah. As the first pitch he fires in is inside to Aguilar for ball number 1. Aguilar is 2 for 3 on the day with a couple of singles, a strikeout, and he was also thrown out trying to reach home on a double on a beautiful throw by Weinstein. The 1-0 pitch, a fastball in the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. David Appleby, the local product, went to Agora High School just minutes down the road here in the valley, the Conejo Valley. Is the 1-1 pitch from Appleby is dealt low and away for ball 2. You went to Utah, redshirted his freshman year, and transferred to Santa Barbara City College, where he plays his ball currently, and will look to transfer Division I after. He ends Joey DeSigley's day as he fires the 2-1 pitch. It's ripped into left center field. That one is going back, running in on his beam, and he's able to glove it in enough time for out number 1.
Another great catch by Beam. He had a phenomenal one back in the top of the 5th where he had to go over his head with the outstretched arm, and once again able to chase down that one for a nice grab.
That's going to be up Jack Rosenberg,
Jack Rosenberg.
who's came in place as a pinch runner in the 6th inning for Christian Jones as he takes the first pitch at the knees for a strike. Joey DeSigley, the number 2 Oaks pitcher, or he was the second Oaks pitcher in the game, I should say, as the 1 pitch runs in low from Appleby for ball 1. Pitched an inning and a third, gave up no hits, no runs, walked 2 and struck out 2. So a pretty decent day for the CSN product, as the Oaks have 3 pitchers out in the bullpen. Evan McMillan is stretching as the 1-1 pitch is a slider outside, 2-1 the count. Also, Robbie Medell, the Oaks closer, getting loose in the pen. If Appleby gets out of this inning, I'd expect Coach Solis to throw Medell. Try to get another save. The 2-1 popped into right field, running back onto Santana. It's going to drop just in front of him for a single. Miller's going to quickly get it in the Halos bullpen and make sure that Rosenberg, who gets his first hit on the day, is held at bay at first base.
Yeah, nice hit by Rosenberg, especially to opposite side. Just drops right over the head of Santana for a nice base hit.
So I guess Robbie Medell, if he wants the save, would hope that the Halos would have put 1 more on the board. It is a 4-run score. For a save to be active, or for a save to be in place, he would need to be up by at the most 3. As Appleby fires the first pitch, it's a foul ball off the inside part of the bat for Nick Lacayo. Strike number 1 on the day for Lacayo. A strikeout, a walk, and a flyout in his 3 at-bats. 0 for 2 on the day. From Michigan State, the Spartan looking to bring in that runner from first in the form of Rosenberg. 5-1 our score here in the top of the 8th. 0-1 count. David Appleby toes the rubber. Takes a sign from Williams behind the plate. Pearson fires the 1 pitch. It's a half-hearted swing by Lacayo for strike number 2.
Yeah, great pitch outside by Appleby, but hopefully Medell doesn't need to get marked with a save. Hopefully we can just take care of business here at the top of the 8th and as well as the top of the 9th.
Quick toss, the 0-2 drills the back of Lacayo, and after Appleby was ahead 0-2, the slider gets away from him, and he allows that runner to get to first base. Runners on first and second now, 1 away. And that'll bring up Calvin Ferris out of the number 5 spot. Very quiet, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts from Brown University. The Halos had a couple of players out of the Ivy Leagues last season. So a good connection between Ventura and the esteemed colleges of the United States. Not saying that there are other esteemed colleges, of course. 2 on, 1 away here in a 5-1 ball game. Appleby still on the mound. So far as give up a hit and has hit a runner in the back. He fires the first pitch, a strike on the outside corner. Five runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Oaks. 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Halos here in the 8th. Appleby takes a deep breath, fires the 0-1 high and outside for ball 1. One's across the board now, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away, and Appleby seems like he's been releasing that fastball and also that slider just a little bit too far too far up, if that makes any sense. When he swings his leg around and releases that ball, he's releasing it too far above his shoulder as the 1-1 pitch drills outside. 2-1 the count. And that was kind of the example of what I was talking about. He's releasing it too high, which is causing the movement to go up and out. So the control is what Appleby is looking to refocus on here. In his first inning of work, checks the runner at second, kicks and fires the 2-1 outside, 3-1 now. And Medell might get the call early, even though McMillan is standing and waiting, possibly getting the could get the call, as well. Should Appleby walk the bases loaded? Solis is at the Oaks dugout, getting ready to stride out to the mound if that were to be the case. Infield playing in double play formation. 3-1 the count, and the next pitch is fired high into center field. Running in on it is Oliver. He's going to make the catch, and Rosenberg is not going to test that arm because Oliver would hose him. 2 away now.
Yeah, the outfield for the Oaks today have done a sensational job making a number of necessary catches, especially in circumstances where it seemed like the opposing team, the Halos, were gaining some momentum.
And maybe momentum is exactly what Solis felt, because he's going to stride out to the mound, have a conversation with his pitcher and Zane Willems, the catcher. It doesn't look like Appleby's day is going to be done. Solis is probably going to tell him, close out this inning, let the offense do its thing in the bottom, and then try to win out this game in the top. He's going to quickly depart. Solis is not one for long conversations. He likes to get straight to the point. Not a lot of small talk with the head coach of the Oaks. Though I will tell you, one time he has asked where they should go for dinner. I think it was more of a joke, but he does have a keen sense of humor at times.
And perhaps a good nose for food.
He likes to take those recommendations from his players. New batter now, Bryson Wallet, 0 for 2 with a walk on the day. Takes the first pitch over to Mayu at short. He's going to toss it over to Weinstein past the glove. That's going to roll past Santana. At first, coming in and scoring on the play is Rosenberg. And that'll be an error on the shortstop, Grant Mayu. It is now a 3-run ball game, 5-2 the score on the error, and runners at the corners.
And this is just one of those circumstances you're not exactly sure what happened. Mayu had the ball firmly in his glove, didn't have to throw it so fast over to Weinstein. He was just roughly 5 feet away from him.
That will be an unearned run. 5-2 our score now here in the top of the 8th. So if the Oaks can get out of this one and maintain their lead, or the lead doesn't change too much as Johnson steps in. Arnett Johnson, the first pitch to him is at the letters for a strike. Robbie Medell will probably be put in to save, for a save situation, I should say. He is 1 for 1 on the season. He saved Saturday's game in his Oaks 2017 debut. Appleby toes the rubber, kicks and fires the 0-1, a fastball just missing on the outside corner. A 93-mile-an-hour fastball for ball 1. That is the fastest pitch that we have seen today.
Yeah, and I think the fastest pitch that he's thrown in the 3 games that he's played so far for the Oaks this season.
1 ball, 1 strike. Appleby deals the next one in the dirt. Good stop by Williams behind the plate, and now Johnson is ahead in the count, 2-1. The Oaks had a big day in the draft. They had 4 players drafted today, or former Oaks, I should say. Frankie Tostado, the current Oak that got drafted, as the 2-1 pitch from Appleby is fired in. A fastball caught the corner for a strike. 2-2 the count now. Chad Spanberger, of course, went yesterday in the 6th round. Interesting for the Rockies, they picked 3 CCL home run hitters the top 3 players in the CCL in home runs last year were picked by the Colorado Rockies. The 2-2 grounded up the middle over the glove of Appleby, and Weinstein is going to corral it after Mayu couldn't get it. And he's able to touch the bag after some controversy at the second base for out number 3. So an interesting ending to the top of the 8th, but nonetheless, 1 run comes around on a hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. We're through 7.5 here at Sparky Anderson Field. 5-2 to score as we hit the break. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We'll be right back.
Stage in this
Bottom of the 8th here for the Oaks. They are up 5-2, and Brandon Lewis is going to step in. 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI triple. The first pitch into him from Arnold is inside for ball number 1. Oaks up 5-2. They have 9 hits, and they need 1 more hit to continue their season-long streak of double-digit hits in a game. The 1-0 pitch up high for ball 2. It looks like Arnold is going to finish up at least this inning for the Halos, as they have nobody warming up in the pen. He is only the second pitcher, that has been thrown for the Halos. Sean Ward, the starter, went 3 innings. The 2-0 fired in from Arnold, and that one's ripped over to third. A good stab at it by Johnson. He's going to fire it over to first and get Lewis with plenty of time for out number 1. Beautiful play by the backup third baseman. Blake Shiramonte came out after he was pinch hit for. So a very nice play. And that'll make way for Milo Beam now in the number 7 spot. Milo Beam on the day, 1 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a triple. He also has a run scored. The first pitch he sees is an off-speeder at the knees for strike number 1. Milo Beam from Purdue University in Indiana, looking to capitalize on what's been a very strong start for him in this season as he lets the 0-1 pitch glide outside for ball 1. Batting well above average. And a productive bottom of the order play here for the Oaks. The 1-1 pitch is a curveball in the dirt. 2-1 the count now. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 away here. Bottom of the 8th. Kicking and firing the 2-1 is Arnold. A fastball catching the outside corner for strike number 2. 5 runs, 9 hits, an error for the Oaks. 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Halos. 2-2 the count as Arnold toes the rubber and fires. The 2-2 pitch fouled back and out of play by Beam, and we'll do it again at 2-2. Leading off the inning was Brandon Lewis. He ground out to third in his only, or in the Oaks' only at bat of the inning. And Arnold in his 6th inning of work kicks and fires the 2-2. Once again, fouled back off the screen by Beam. And we'll do it again for a 3rd straight time at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Oaks batter's doing a nice job staying patient, which has been the theme all day long. And most of the time it's led to success or potentially getting them on base.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Arnold kicks and fires a curveball. Chopped over to second. Steele will get it, underhanded over to Rosenberg in time for out number 2. And 2 hopper over to Steele on his left. He's able to sidestep to it and beat out the speedy Beam to ensure a quick out number 2. And Zane Willems, 2 for 3 on the day with a pair of RBIs and a run scored, will step in. The Alvin College product headed to Texas Tech in the fall. Taps the plate a couple times, waves that bat, shoulders it, and Arnold kicks and fires the first pitch in. And that one runs inside for ball 1. Oaks will be playing back here at Sparky Anderson on Thursday, just tomorrow, against the Foresters. 4:30 first pitch, 4:15 will be pregame. The 1-0 is a curveball that doesn't drop low enough for ball number 2. Then they'll be back here once again on Friday to play the Halos to cap off the week. Day off on Saturday, and then on Sunday, the SoCal Halos, which is the Ventura Halos B team out of the Premier League, will come to town. 12 o'clock start for that one. The 2-0 up high for ball 3. Willems now ahead in the count at 3-0, and let's see here if he decides to take the 3-0 pitch. Arnold gloves the ball, takes the sign from Peters behind the plate, kicks and fires the 3-0 pitch. Willems takes it at the knees for a strike. On deck, DJ Miller, if we get that far in the hole. At the top of the order, Jason Oliver. Robbie Medell now warming up in full swing for the Oaks. I expect Coach Solis to put him in and try to close this game out in the top of the 9th. The 3-1 to Willems. It's grounded over to third once again. Fired across the diamond for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning here for the Oaks. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. We're through 8 full at Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks lead 5-2. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We will be right back.
Is it fair to say Willems has been one of the most consistent hitters for the team? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say that.
Oh, yes. Let it go.
Now pitching for the Oaks out of the University of Arizona, number 32, Robbie Medell.
Robbie Medell will take the mound for the Oaks in the top of the ninth. The Oaks lead 5-2 over the Halos, and a save situation for the University of Arizona closer in his second season with the Oaks. Made his 2017 debut on Sunday against the Riptide in Orange County, where he got the save. The Oaks won that one 5-3. And here another opportunity to close it out. Jake Peters, the number 8 hitter, will step in. He's 1 for 2 on the day, with a ground out, a single, and a walk, as the Arizona Wildcat fires the first pitch high and away for ball 1. Medell, always a fun person to be around, both in the dugout and just to talk to. He's actually going to make an appearance on our Oaks broadcast. Give you more on that, just a second, as the 1-0 pitch runs outside once again, 2-0. He's a broadcast journalism major at the University of Arizona. Broadcasts sports in the off-season, so in his off day either tomorrow or Friday, we're going to give him an inning of play-by-play. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be a fun one, as he kicks and fires the 2-0. Cut it and missed for strike number 1.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be looking forward to that. I'm sure he can bring a nice perspective up to the booth, especially from a experience point of view.
2-1 from Medell as he toes the rubber, kicks and fires, and that one's popped out of play. 2-2 now. Not only is Medell a play-by-play broadcaster and a phenomenal pitcher, he also can name any song, at least that I've ever interacted with him. He can name almost any song, the artist, the album, and what year it came out. It's an unbelievable thing to witness. Players over the season, as they get to know him, will test him, and he'll just tell you what song it is. The 2-2 is ripped over the first. Santana gloves it and will underhand it to Medell in time for out number 1.
Yeah, it's definitely fair to call him a music savant, amongst other terminologies, connoisseur, whatever you want to call him. And it's interesting because most of these players have certain preferences when it comes to music, but he seems to be able to appreciate every single type of genre.
Yeah, he is a connoisseur of many cultures. As the number 9 hitter, Charles Steele, steps in, and he's been a connoisseur of lackluster offense out of the number 9 spot. 0 for 2 with a walk, a run scored, a strikeout, and a groundout. He takes the first pitch over to second. Weinstein will get it and throw over to first just in time to get him for a quick out number 2. And Robbie Medell is now 1 out away from securing the game for the Oaks. 5-2 our score. Top of the 9th inning in our second hour and 20th minute of play. And Dayton Provost will step in. No, it looks like there's going to be a pinch hitter, actually. No, it is Provost, my mistake. On the day for the number 1 hitter out of College of the Canyons. 1 for 4 with a strikeout, an RBI double, a groundout, and a flyout. Medell toes the rubber, kicks and fires the first pitch to the lefty in the dirt for ball 1. Wind blowing out to right. It's been a very nice, beautiful game here. Probably the nicest day that we've had. Mild weather, low winds. Not too late in the day. The 1-0 pitch is a 2-hopper to Weinstein at second. He's going to glove it and get it over to Santana for out number 3, and that is the ball game. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. The Oaks cap it off with a 5-2 win. They are now 8-2 overall, 5-2 in CCL play. The Halos drop to 4-5 overall and 4-5 in the CCL. The winning pitcher for the Oaks is Kenny Johnson. The losing pitcher, Sean Ward. Jonah, the Oaks team bounced back after a rough loss yesterday to take it 5-2 here in 9 innings. What is your analysis? What they do right, and what can they take in tomorrow's game against the Foresters to help push forward and win that game?
I think what really stood out to me is their lack of errors. I think they did a great job from the outfielding as well as the infielding, with the exception of that 1 error by Mayu for the majority of the game. They've done a tremendous job of taking care of the ball, not giving unnecessary advantages to the other team, especially also with wild pitches, which is the other thing that we saw the Halos struggled with, and something that we struggled with in past, where the pitchers would throw a number of these wild pitches or low in the dirt that would lead to giving these opposing teams more opportunities to score and in better position. So the Oaks just did a nice job of taking care of all the things that they can control.
That is absolutely right. They came in with the confidence, they came out with the poise, and they held on to the win, which is something that they've seemed to have lacked in the last couple of days. Zane Willems was the big offensive performer for the Oaks out of the 8th spot. He had 2 RBIs, 2 hits in a 2-for-4 day. Kenny Johnson, the starter for the Oaks, went 5 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits. Only 1 run, though, 2 walked, and 8 strikeouts for our pitcher of the game. The Oaks will be back here tomorrow against the Santa Barbara Foresters. 4:30 game time, 4:20 pregame right here on YouTube and KDTV.com. We're going to switch it over now to Twitter, where the Oaks postgame show will take place in just about, 3 or 4 minutes. So Jonah will be interviewing our Oaks players of the day, Zane Willems and Kenny Johnson. Join us back here tomorrow when those take on the Foresters. If we don't see you on Twitter, have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the beauty of the day, or if you're on the East Coast, enjoy your evening. And look forward to a rivalry matchup tomorrow. For Jonah Malkin and the entire Oaks crew, team ops coordinator Chris Raffinelli, Coach David Solis, and all of the interns, my name is Jonathan Rifkin, signing off. We'll see you on Twitter or tomorrow at 4:15. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.